India has sent 20 satellites on a single rocket into space in its biggest launch ever. 17 of them were foreign, including from the U.S., Canada, Germany, and Indonesia. Most will be used to observe and measure the Earth's atmosphere. In 2008, India launched 10 satellites on one rocket, setting a world record, but that has since been broken by NASA and then by Russia. Now, since the U.S. space agency NASA stopped its shuttle program 5 years ago, engineers in India have been among those at the forefront of designing a reusable spacecraft. India is offering low-cost options to put satellites and other equipment into orbit. Its first miniature prototype shuttle was launched last month. It cost around $14 million, while U.S. private company SpaceX charges $61 million for launch of its Falcon 9 rocket. India became the first Asian nation to successfully place a satellite into orbit around Mars. That was 2 years ago. The Mangalyaan robotics probe cost $74 million. That is 1/9 of the $671 million price tag for NASA's latest Maven Mars mission. But India's $1.2 billion space budget is still controversial in a country where 3/4 of the population earns less than $80 a month. Joining us now is Pallava Bagla. He is science editor with the Indian news channel NDTV. He joins us via Skype from New Delhi, and we very much appreciate your time. Put this launch in some sort of perspective for us.
This particular launch was very significant for India. It was the 35th consecutively successful launch of India's smaller rocket, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, and it carried 20 satellites in one go in orbit. It is like dropping one by one school children from a bus which is flying at a very high velocity in space. It's a complex maneuver. It's a tricky maneuver because you don't want the mothership and the babies to collide with each other. And the Indian Space Research Organization did it gloriously in its 35th consecutively successful launch. It was a great day for the Indian Space Agency.
I love your analogy there. That's pretty vivid. We can kind of visualize that. So why is India such a key destination for launching these satellites?
Very straightforward. Costs. India offers launch costs which are 50% cheaper than anybody else in the world. So if SpaceX or Blue Shepard or any Ariane Space or NASA can do it at $100, India is willing to do it at $50. So that is the reason why you see big companies now coming to India. In this particular launch, the significance was that there is a satellite by Google which has been launched. And Google is a rich company and they would opt for the very best. And they opted to launch from the Indian Space Research Organization. Only shows that there's reliability and bankability on the Indian rocket.
But as I said, as we were leading up to you, that this is controversial to have to spend this much money in a program like this in a country that is relatively poor. Do the people benefit from this in any way?
Oh, immensely. See, the Indian Space Research Program is directed mainly for benefits of the Indian people. If Indian fishermen need to benefit, they benefit through getting to the right fishing zones. Indian farmers benefit by correct forecasts on when rains would arrive thanks to satellites. Whatever Indian news and entertainment industry does can be done only using satellites. So the Indian people are benefiting very much by the frugal and low-cost investment which India has done in its space program. India invests just over a little over $1 billion every year in space, and it gets much more by way of benefits for governance and for infrastructure development for the country using space technology.
Mr. Pallava Bagla, thank you so much for your insight on this. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.